Hey, everybody. So I'm Elysia Buss, the host of Horsepower Empowerment Through Connection, and I have the great honor of getting to interview Nina Fuller today in Hollis, Maine, at Brook Farm. And she does this amazing work where she integrates photography with equine assisted learning. And she is a fellow Prescott graduate. Am I right in that, Nina?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I also
Oh,
went
you
to
were
Prescott College.
Oh.
Yeah.
Were you in the Equine Program?
I was in the
cool.
postgraduate for the equine assisted learning. I had the great honor of getting to spend some time with Paul Smith before he passed.
Yeah. So wonderful guy.
Amazing human being.
Yeah.
But yeah, could you tell us a little bit more about this wonderful program that you have up there in Maine?
Well, I work with the equines up here. I have a donkey and a mule and a horse and a pony and a mini. So I have come over here so you can
Such a
see
fabulous
donkey there. Yeah, hello.
Hey.
Hello. And now with the whole, this COVID thing, I can't, it just stopped. It stopped. But trying to figure out how we can continue, because I'm getting an awful lot of calls. People are in need.
Yeah. What are the populations you usually work with?
Well, that changes drastically from sort of section to section. I mean, I started out working with teenagers in rehab programs, and then and adults and children, and there's really no population I don't work with. I mean, I don't turn anybody away.
Well, that's great. And you do you do the equine assisted learning and the mental health?
I do mental health, equine assisted mental health.
Equine assisted mental health. Are you able to do any of the telehealth out there yet, or?
Well, the clients I have that I'm doing with telehealth, we're not doing, obviously, with the equines. So, and the clients that I still have that I'm doing the telehealth with weren't equine people anyway. They were clients that I went to their house because they couldn't leave their house. So, I haven't figured out telehealth equine.
That's all right. We've got lots of really great connections in the field that I can throw your way, and they'll help you navigate all of that, which is really cool. I actually talked to a different Prescott graduate just yesterday in Utah who is doing the telehealth. I'm sure she would be just super happy to get to talk to you about that. And the beauty of
what we're doing. Is she doing telehealth?
Yeah, she's doing telehealth with the horses. Even.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool to talk to her.
Yeah, it's really great. And I know it's something that a lot of people have struggled with in our industry since COVID started. And so it's really nice to be able to connect different people that are having success and have navigated different technical issues and HIPAA compliance stuff that we all get to deal with as healthcare practitioners.
I know. It's, I sort of, well, anyway, that's another question. So
yeah, for sure. So what brought you to photography? The photography is a different aspect with the horses that we haven't really gotten to touch on before in our interviews.
I have for my whole life. So that's what I've always done. Is I'm a photographer. I've been a photographer for 50 years, actually.
That's awesome.
And when I went back to school, when I went back to school in 2010, to Prescott to get my master's in counseling psychology, and I went back because of the horses,
right?
Because they had the equine assisted mental health program, and I was interested in that, and I was thinking I was 60 at the time.
Yeah,
believe it or not. That was crazy.
And I love that you went back to school when you were 60. You're just like, whatever, it's fine.
Physically was killing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. And people were like, well, do you realize you're gonna be, 65 by the time I would be that well. I really was thinking it was a separate situation. I didn't know. I did not get how creative the whole thing was. I wasn't thinking of it that way. I should have now. That seems like a really dumb thing to say, but I was thinking it was two separate, that I would put down one thing and pick up the other. And I was actually out in Arizona doing my internship with Jean Millen at Blake Foundation, and taking photographs, of course. And she said to me, when are you going to realize that this is part of what you do, and that you're going to integrate it? And I go, oh, really? You think? And she goes, Nina, this is crazy. Yeah, I know. So yeah, so I combined, so I wrote my thesis, actually my hat that I have on.
Oh, hey, Nina, can you go back to the other place that you were at? It's a little choppy in the barn.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Is it better now? Better.
Still a little bit choppy.
Better.
It'll get better.
I'll go out to the other
to the other spot.
No. I have to. Yeah, the donkey.
I know the donkeys want to come play with you.
They want to go with me, right? Is it better now?
It's frozen, but I'm sure it'll come back. At least we can. Oh, there, you're starting to come back.
Okay.
At least we can hear you, so it's okay. Everybody will just bear with us, I'm sure, because the content is in what you have to say. So
okay,
we can hear that.
Okay. You hear Jenny? That's Go-Go. Anyway, can you hear me?
Everyone, that's the brain of the donkey. This is the donkey, right? Not the mule?
Yeah. That's both of them. They were both braying. Yeah.
They're so cute.
Yeah. So is it moving now? Not that it needs to move. Who needs to move? We don't need to move.
Yeah, it's fine. As long as we can hear you, it'll be okay. You find yourself in a nice shady spot so that you're not overheating over there in Maine. I know it's a hot day.
It's hot in Hollis. I'm not on the ocean, so
yeah.
You know, I'm inland. So anyway, where were we?
So you were talking about what was on your hat.
Oh, my hat. Right, but it's not moving, so you can't see it.
It is moving a little bit. It says APT.
Yeah, EAPT. It's equine assisted photography therapy.
I love it.
I wrote my thesis. I created this protocol, this workshop, and did my thesis on it, my capstone. And then started doing these workshops. And then Nina Fry, who was you know Nina Fry?
I do know Nina Fry. She was one of my instructors.
Yeah.
She's down in Denver now, I think.
She's in Denver, yeah.
Yeah.
She was also one of my mentors, and we do these workshops together.
Oh, that's so cool.
I've done a bunch here in Maine, and we've done one in Colorado, and we were going to do one in Michigan, I think, this year, but you know.
Oh, were you going to connect up with Tracy Weber at all?
We were gonna do it's Nina Fry, myself, and Inger Lanise. Do you know Inger? She's in Michigan.
I might have. I've met so many people over the years, but not off the top of my head. But you'll have to send me that name so I can look at it. She was in your class. Okay. What year did you graduate again?
2013, I think.
You might have run across each other.
Really? Were you in the same? I don't know what the number of the cohort I was in. I shouldn't know that, but I don't.
Yeah, I had an interesting life story happen. So I actually went back and forth, I think like 3 different times. And so I'm in like 3 different cohorts because I've had 2 low back surgeries. And so I had to take a break for a minute.
Well,
yeah.
we might have already met.
Yeah, probably.
At the ranch.
And if we didn't, we missed each other by a very narrow margin.
At the ranch, yeah. Huh.
It's funny. But yeah, so how much land do you have out there?
I have 34.5 acres here.
Oh, fabulous. That's so nice.
It's nice. Yeah.
And do you do primarily like groundwork with people, or do you do any riding?
No riding.
No riding.
In the beginning, I did some with the kids I worked with in the beginning, and during my internship, but because they wanted to get on that horse so bad.
I understand.
Oh my gosh. And so that was great. And there was some riding in the a workshop I did with the equine work, with the photography work. But it just, the insurance people won't let me.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It can be a little interesting
That's
to be certain.
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. So
What are some of the
that's
different
a whole
models
nother
that
thing.
inform your work?
I don't really know whoops, oh my gosh. My ears don't, my ears are not the kind of ears that hold these pods. Some people's ears do, mine don't.
I understand.
So I really don't know the answer to that question, because the how I work, it really depends 100% on the person I'm working with and what their needs are.
Yeah.
So I can't say, well, I do this or I do that, and I stick to this modality and I don't do this and I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
It's
so it's
so
just like,
different every time. It's
right.
really fluid. It's fluid. I suppose if somebody watched me, some like expert in modalities watched me, then they go, "Oh, Nina does this," and I go, "Oh, really? I do? Cool." Now there's a name.
So
Now there's a name for
it's
it.
primarily what you learned at Prescott College then.
Like probably from Paul Smith, what I learned from Paul Smith.
From Paul
Yeah.
Smith. And yeah, he was an amazing person.
He really was. He's been here to Hollis. He'd been here, come visit me here.
That's really cool because Pam McPhee is in New Hampshire, and that's where they used to live, and they're just Pam's such a wonderful human being.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say is an obstacle that you overcame to be able to live your dream of working with the horses?
Well, school. That sucked.
Yeah, that can be a big one for a lot of people.
That was hard, but it was doable. The obstacles are just life and life's obstacles. And I think that, there's a lot of, not so many obstacles while I was preparing myself to do this. That was just put one step in front of the other and learn APA, bleh,
Yeah.
That, but
yeah, APA writing.
That was brutal.
Oh, yay.
Yeah,
so fun.
So
we're all a
lot
little bit
kids,
scarred from having to deal with that in college.
Oh my God. So a lot of the people had come right out of college into this. I graduated from college in 1972. And, it was like, and it was art school. I went to TW, and I went to art school. So I was just like, what, really? Do we have to? I'm not a real rule follower. So, and they were like, yeah, you do have to. And I'm like, nah, I don't really have to,
You're like, it'll be fine.
Fine. No, the period, your dot is in the wrong place. I'm like, really? Does anybody really care? Isn't it about the big picture? No, people really do care. I mean, poor Nina Fry was just tearing her hair out going, Nina,
oh God, yeah, she's super funny about that kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh. And I'm like, really, Nina? And she's like, yeah, but she spent an incredible amount of time, because I'd want to just wash over the whole thing, just the big stroke.
Yes. You're like, don't you get it? Like, what? Do we really need a semicolon there? Like,
do we really need that? What the heck? So anyway, so that was that. But I think I think having a license and being monitored by the state, and like, what? That was just even way bigger. And I don't think I was prepared.
Like mentally for that experience.
Well, emotionally, I think I've always worked for myself. I've been a freelance photographer, like I said, and you do, for each client, you do have to do, toe the line and do. And of course, photography is very specific. You can't just half-assly do that. It's
specific. True. I took photography classes every year from 6th grade through 3 years into college. So that's why I was so excited to get to do this interview with you today, because photography is so near and dear to my heart. And it's different being in a digital age versus like analog.
yeah, well, I of course always did film, and then the digital thing came, and that, so I had to change over to that, which was, I did it. Um, that wasn't particularly easy either.
No.
But then it was done, and then
Yeah.
it was kind of like trying to figure out the APA thing.
Right?
But
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was like, geez, really? But I love it now, of course. It's
Of course.
terrific. But anyway, it was so there would be a challenge, and I think probably everybody who does this kind of work has this challenge of trying to explain it to people. And because I think there's so much of it that's unexplainable, that is just, but it can't be unexplainable because people want to know, like I used to work for this rehab center, and I'd go get the kids and they'd bring them back here. We'd spend an hour, I'd drop them off, pick up another kid, come back here. And the kids really liked it. They liked it a lot because they didn't, because there's all these animals. Look at, I have this little goatee here. Hello, goatee.
Hey, little
Can
goats.
you see him?
Oh my
Hello,
gosh,
goatee.
they're so cute.
the
What kind of
sheep?
goats are those?
Those
Oh
are
my
Nigerian dwarf. Hello.
Hi,
Yeah.
guys.
So, and the sheep, can you see the sheep?
I can. They're lovely.
Yeah.
Black face sheep.
Yeah. So they, they couldn't, because the kids liked it, they couldn't figure out how that it was, like if the kids liked it. I mean, like if the kid got in trouble, they'd take away their therapy.
Right. Which is like so
Does that
opposite.
say everything?
That doesn't make any sense.
And I go, what do you mean? Like I'd go to pick up a kid and they go, oh, he was bad, he can't go. And I go, what? This is his therapy. No, I go, why are you taking away the therapy? Because they like it. I'm like, okay, this is, so that sort of describes the whole challenge.
Yeah, no, that's
Right?
definitely a huge obstacle of like a broken system.
Yep. So, yep. And, people are like, Lad, what are you doing over there with the horses? And what do you would how is this therapeutic? I go, well, and have to go into the big explanation that the basic stuff, but still.
What is the big, what is the explanation that you give people?
I would say that, the whole nonverbal thing, the whole, how communication, so much of it is nonverbal. And so how they trust, because these kids in rehab would be, they would all have pretty serious trust issues.
Right.
As most people do.
Sure.
And so learning to trust the horse, I mean, they would have a relationship with the horse or with whatever equine they chose. Sometimes it'd be a sheep, actually.
That's cool.
And they would,
I hadn't heard of that before.
Well, they sort of invented that themselves by, seeing the sheep. And I remember one kid said to me, is it okay if I work with a sheep? And I'm like, sure, you can work with whatever you want.
I love it.
Because they would let their guards down, and stuff would come up that, and I'd had to be careful not to say, oh, well, really? What do you mean by that? And like, boom, going right into a therapy thing, because then they're like, oh, I knew it, I knew. So it would have to be a very gentle and very, like a lot of visits here. And a lot of times we'd walk to the bench. I have a bench in the back.
The blue bench?
I walk to the blue bench, which a bunch of people are over there waiting for me to walk to the bench with them. But and while we're walking, we're talking and we're walking, and that's sort of the whole nature therapy thing. Yeah. But there just wasn't the word therapy in it, Yeah. And I also do a lot of situations where the person, especially kids totally believe in this. Adults are like, what, okay. When I would say you can ask questions that you have, and you don't need to Casey or Frankie or whoever, and you don't need to, and you don't need to tell me. And then they would have this whole big, long, quiet moment, and I'm standing there, and I'd say, well, what did she say? And they'd go, I'm not telling you.
That's
like, okay, so funny. It's okay. But yeah, so there'd be a lot of, I really need to talk to your horse. And I'm thinking, okay. So at least those thoughts so say they're talking to the horse, they're not telling me what it is, but at least that thought is going through their mind. So at least it's coming from somewhere. It's a little closer to coming out of their mouth at some other time,
Yeah.
on the walk to the bench, on the drive to go get them and come back here, the whole thing. It's just very different from walking into an office, sitting down there.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say one of the most profound stories is that you have of kids or adults working with the horses?
Oh man,
I'm sure you have many to choose from.
so many. Yeah, but there was a woman, a young woman, 16 maybe, who was in the girls' house, and she would come over here. She really loved Casey. Casey's beautiful, and the girls would pick Casey a lot because she's just
Yeah.
so beautiful, and they liked that. Boys would
Beautiful
pick
paint
Frankie,
horse.
beautiful paint horse, right, with a white mane, like,
Yeah.
oh. And she said to me many times, if it wasn't for this horse, I wouldn't be sober. That her, actually, I did put her on the horse. I did. That was back when I used to do that. But I just think that, and there was so many of these people that I work with, that when they come and they say to me that when they enter this, and I don't think it's really, specifically me or the horse or the this or the that, it's this whole place.
Yeah.
They say when they pull in here and they get out and they walk into that barn, it just, everything just comes down to another place. And there's something about this place that does that, because 100% of the people that come here say that. They say it's just, the minute I step onto your farm, I feel calm.
That's beautiful.
So yeah. So that's a good place to start.
Absolutely. No, it really is. And who is it that inspires you, Nina?
Yeah. So, which person?
Who inspires you in the world, horse or otherwise?
Who inspires me? I think that I am inspired by my clients, by watching them work with the horses. I'm just, you think, oh, Billy, if I can't explain this, then what's actually going on? And then I see it and I go, oh yeah, okay. The heck with people that, think this is like not therapy.
Right.
It's reassuring. It's reassuring, and I get inspired. It's tough during this whole COVID thing because there's been such a gap.
Yeah.
But I'm out here with them every day. So I'm,
Do you feel like the horses and the donkeys miss the work with the people? Have you noticed any indications to that since COVID has started? Because I've heard from some people that they do.
I work with them. I have people here. I have someone here who lives in this tiny house. Can you see that tiny house there?
I can. It looks quite quaint.
Isn't that cute?
It is.
She's not here right now, but she lives in that tiny house and she helps me. And so she's here. People come by. There's a lot of interaction with the animals. Anyway,
that's good.
I'm out here every day with them, and the animals seem to be able to just turn it on and turn it off,
because they're just they're always just present, right? They're just, that's how they live their lives, is just 100% present in each moment.
Yeah. So I don't get that feeling that I was just out here working with Casey the other day, and it was like, and I hadn't worked with her in a while, and it was just like, no time had gone by.
I feel like that might be also because your place is so large and so beautiful versus other facilities where horses might spend more time in like smaller paddocks or stalls, and it looks like your horses have more room to move and engage with one another.
Oh yeah.
Which I think makes a really big difference for the horses.
Yeah. they do have a lot of space. And I'm moving them all the time to different pastures, and yeah, they're pretty healthy. The vet one time was here, and the vet said, you have the luckiest animals on the planet.
They do look very healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you need to go soon. Before we wrap up, can you take us on a little tour of your farm so that people can see more of the beauty that you have to offer?
Sure. So, let's see.
Look at all that lush greenery, ladies and gentlemen. Like, oh,
I know.
beautiful
look at that.
sky.
And there's a drought, so there's a little bit of brown. Jenny, here you are. There's Jenny. Oh, I'll introduce you to my guard dog.
Oh.
I have a herding dog, of course, that herds the sheep. So this is Jenny. Hey, Jen. And this is her son, Go-Go. Goes like that. Jenny's a phone.
Jenny's a donkey, and then Go-Go is a mule, and technically
Hinny mule.
It is a Hinny mule. And can you explain to people what a Hinny mule is, since many people probably don't know?
A Hinny mule is, the mother is a donkey, and the father is the horse. In this case, the father is a pony, a paint pony. And today is Go-Go's birthday.
Aw, and how old is Go-Go today?
14.
14. Wow. 14. Do donkeys and mules tend to live longer than horses? Do you know?
Oh yeah. They live to be 45 years old, 50 years old.
Whoa. That's amazing.
This is a mini.
Aww.
Little mini.
So sweet.
I know. The mini is great because some people who, if somebody is very intimidated with the big horse, which, you know, is healthy, should be, they can pick the mini and start small and then move up. Even though it's funny because the mini and the pony are so much more difficult to work with, but the fact they're smaller is like, you know.
That's funny.
And then this is Frankie, the pony. Yeah, they're in the barn. So, and this over here is,
I love those old East Coast barns.
Oh yeah, my barn is, I can. You want to come in here, Jenny? Okay. Oh, where's Shug? I don't see her. Oh, it's okay. She's all right. Okay, let me see if Shug. Hey, Shug! Hey, Shug! Well, maybe Shug's sleeping. Shug is a guard dog. Shug is a 6-month-old guard dog that is going to guard the sheep when she's old enough to, which is 2 years old.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that 2 was the age that they could start guarding the sheep. I mean, it makes sense because I mean, like before then, they just kind of have puppy brains.
Well,
so. Oh, I can't hear you anymore.
Totally puppy. Shug!
Oh. All right. I'm like, I can hear you now, but I can't. There you go. We lost you there for a second.
Oh, okay. I went to try to find Shug.
Shug, that's so cute.
Shug, yeah. But if you've seen my Facebook page or my Instagram or whatever, you've seen pictures of Shug, right? Have you?
I think so. Is she like a little black and white collie?
No, that's my collie. That's Sky.
That's Sky. Gotcha.
Yeah,
well, we'll have to go on there. And I'll make sure to insert links underneath for the description. And we'll I'll put in links for some of the people that we've mentioned in our interview, so that when people get to watch our interview, that they'll have links to your farm and your photography website, so that people know how to find you. And
Lilybrook, it's lilybrookfarm.org is the farm, is the farm /therapy/equine/ everything. Great.
Slash all of the things that are fabulous that will help you through your day and have a better life.
Right.
If you're anywhere near Hollis, Maine, and you would like to experience photography with horses in equine assisted learning and mental health and helping you have better communication and boundaries and emotional regulation, then you should definitely give Nina a call and go get to experience her beautiful farm and fabulous personality and sheep and goats and mules and donkeys and guinea fowl and all sorts of interesting creatures that she has out at the farm.
Right.
All
It's all
right.
here. All
Well,
right.
thank you so much for your time, Nina. I really appreciate you talking to me and my viewers this morning. And yeah, I look forward to getting to hear more about your journey and that transcending through COVID and getting to see more people.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Bye
you.
now.
Bye.